Towson University's Presidential Scholar. As most of you know, Towson University's strategic plan supports several initiatives that will prioritize our efforts and our resources to continue the advancement of the institution to 2016, the institution's 150th year. Among others, 3 of the university's top priorities are: 1, innovation in teacher education in order to transform PK to 12. 2nd, STEM education for teacher preparation and also for the workforce. And 3, leadership development for students, faculty, and staff, and the community. Today's announcement ties all 3 of those together. Dr. Nancy Grasmick is one of the nation's most respected teachers in education, and leaders in education, and visionaries in education. Her stellar reputation ranges from multiple United States presidents to the kindergarten students at the many schools with whom she visits and just sits down for a while and works with them. For almost 5 decades, Nancy Grasmick led Maryland pre-K to 12 education to become one of America's most recognized states for innovation and vision, excellence, and achievement. She has forever been a champion of the holistic education for our youth. And while devoted to improving student achievement in STEM, she is also one of the state's strongest advocates for arts integration throughout the curriculum. She has raised the level of expectation of achievement and excellence with her vision, her tenacity, wisdom, insight, energy, and her personal resources. After 20 years as State Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Grasmick is the nation's longest appointed state superintendent. She holds 6 honorary doctorate degrees, awards far too numerous to count, and she is a Towson alumna. Under Dr. Grasmick's leadership, Maryland schools have transformed into one of the finest public systems in the country, ranked first in the nation for 3 consecutive years. At her heart, Dr. Grasmick is a teacher. Her professional and personal life, her every action is tied to the success of students. Students, students. That's what it is about for her. They are her blood and the total driver of her life. It is not possible to separate Nancy Grasmick, the national professional icon, from Nancy, the person, because the beauty of her beautiful spirit is threaded throughout all of her work. Underpinning her extraordinary vision and inexhaustible love of service and her deep caring for children and the mentorship she gives to new and established teachers, school leaders, administrative assistants, custodians, parents. She and her husband Lou are one of the state's most generous philanthropists and givers of their time as well. She will always give credit to anyone but herself for the achievements in education in Maryland, but make no mistake, Nancy has been behind every innovation in PK to 12 in this state for many decades. Now Nancy has retired from her position as State Superintendent of Schools and is ready to start her next journey of service. Towson University has asked Dr. Grasmick to join us in our mission to lead the state and the nation in innovation of teacher education in response to the national mandate to respond and respond quickly to this goal. Dr. Grasmick has accepted Towson's offer to serve as a presidential scholar to the president for the purpose of guiding our work. Dr. Grasmick will report directly to the president and work with the College of Education, Teacher Education Executive Board, all sectors of the university involved in teacher preparation, the Maryland State Department of Education, the Maryland Higher Education Commission, the University System of Maryland, the county, the state, private, and national partners. Nancy has the energy for that. The number of universities and institutions seeking her after she announced her retirement is too numerous to count, but she selected Towson. Today is one of Towson University's finest hours. The funds for Dr. Grasmick's position and the funding for our work in teacher preparation innovation were privately raised and underscores the many organizations and individuals who are more than willing to generously support her leadership and Towson's leadership, including 3 top seed donors who have allowed us to kick off this initiative today, and I will introduce them in just a moment. Our work in teacher education innovation will be a team effort. Nancy's not joining us as a faculty member or administrator hired to tell us how to do our jobs. That's not Nancy at all. She's joining us because of her respect for Towson's teacher education and Towson's long history as the largest provider of teachers in the state. She's joining us because of her dedication to education in Maryland. She's joining us because she believes in what we're doing and our commitment to do it even better. And she is joining us to do what she does best: guide, mentor, enlighten, support, remove barriers, provide connections, raise resources, and supply quality ideas that support our kids. We will journey together as a team in a purposeful, collaborative, entrepreneurial way to meet the needs of these students. Lastly, our work in Towson will not only focus on teacher education, but also education leadership in our schools, thus linking 3 university priorities: innovation in teacher education, STEM, and leadership development. And this initiative will accomplish 3 things for us. First, our work will allow us to get it right for the children of Maryland, especially in STEM, but also by connecting STEM to arts integration, special education, writing and language, intellectual inquiry, health and wellness. Second, our initiatives will position us as one of the primary institutions to benchmark in the country. And third, it will allow us to lead the national conversation about what education will need to be in the very near future. One of the main focal points in this initiative is in the area of STEM preparation for students and teachers. Today, I also announce that Towson is well positioned to receive a grant and enhancement funding from the University of Maryland system to adapt a Towson-tailored UTeach model for STEM teacher preparation. UTeach is a very successful program developed by the University of Texas at Austin and which is being replicated by a number of states nationwide. Towson UTeach, the program that we are planning to implement, will position Towson as the preeminent institution in Maryland to study, to become a science or mathematics teacher. Before we bring Nancy Grasmick to the podium, I want to recognize our top 3 original seed donors. First is Ed St. John, founder and chairman of St. John Properties, a company with a portfolio more than 15 million square feet of real estate in 5 states. With the mantra that education has the power to transform lives and strengthen communities, the Edward St. John Foundation since 1988 has pledged, gifted in kind, and outright contributed more than $43 million to more than 350 educational and other nonprofit organizations throughout Baltimore and Washington region. Ed St. John and his foundation are one of the state's most valuable resources for teachers, and their ability to get an education and get a good education. Ed has often affectionately been called St. Ed. That is how Baltimore feels about him. I hope that doesn't embarrass him, but that is what he is called. And I would also want to recognize Sharon Akers, the executive director of the Ed St. John Foundation, for her support and close work with us now and in the future. Ed St. John, would you please stand up and let us thank you? Our second seed donor is Vince Talbert, a Towson alum, College of Business and Economics, 1990, graduate, and a Bachelor of Science in Economics and Finance. Vince is the Vice President of Merchant Marketing at PayPal and was part of the building team to develop, launch, and grow the flagship Bill Me Later product that eventually was sold to eBay. A quote that best describes Vince's philosophy on education is, "Let's make Baltimore the Silicon Valley of education innovation." Let's please thank Vince Talbert. And finally is the support of the University System of Maryland. Pending state budget approval, as is always the case, the University of Maryland System, the Chancellor, as well, is advocating for enhancement funding to support our Towson Tailored UTeach related program for STEM education at Towson. Chancellor Kerwin could not be with us today, but he cannot more enthusiastically support where we are headed with these efforts. I want to take a second to thank Dean Venko and Dean Lorien from the Colleges of Science and Mathematics and Education who have helped us with this day, and the faculty across the campus who have helped us to come to this day. And bringing welcome to us before we bring Nancy Grasmick to the stand is Ray Lorien. Ray?